if we have to, envision a scenario where such attacks will not be allowed to happen again, where Pakistan is not a state sponsor of terrorism, where Pakistan is not an epicenter of terrorism for the world. So is it by stopping the external aid from IMF and World Bank and also applying these conditionalities on which the aeroplanes and other weapons have been given to Pakistan, not to be used against India, applying those very strictly? And how do you control their nuclear weapons?
They've rigged the elections in Pakistan. They've got Imran Khan in jail. They don't have a legitimate democratic leader. I have called for sanctions on all of the Pakistani officials who were behind the coup and the jailing of Imran Khan. And I certainly think that there should be conditionality on any weapons transfers to make sure that they aren't used against the United States or our allies, including India. But we want to make sure that at this time that there's not a escalation by Pakistan into launching a nuclear weapon or some other kind of weapon. And that they have, sometimes countries that have little to lose may engage in retaliation. And that's why we need to be firm and clear in our moral clarity that we stand with India, we stand against terrorism, we're going to assess and counter terrorism, while also making sure that we are reducing tensions in the region so it doesn't blow up into a conflict where we lose more lives.
For me, I will tell you, if it comes to picking sides, I'm not going to be with the terrorists. If you're going to go shoot up the place and, as you have asked these tough questions here, shoot innocent men, women, and children to make a political statement, the United States cannot be with them. And so I think that it's important that the United States foster this relationship, grow this relationship, start being interdependent with each other about the things that we agree on, and work very diligently on the things that are still questionable. There's still some ties from years ago to the old communist regimes in Russia and so on and so forth. The United States and India have to work on that, because we are not only a relationship of necessity, and I would consider our relationship as the United States with Pakistan as a relationship of necessity.
Started, and President Trump is going to take ahead, is the IMEC, India Middle East Economic Corridor, a connectivity between India and Europe through UAE, Saudi, and Jordan and Israel, including gas pipelines, including cables, and will save 6 days of transit through instead of the Suez Canal. So if that is an area, if you could support U.S. India cooperation in the Middle East under Dr. Barai's leadership, we had taken a delegation, Dr. Desai was with us, and we could support the U.S. India partnership in the Middle East. We want to keep the Chinese out of the Middle East. So this is across party lines, Biden administration, Trump administration. Everybody wants to ensure that India is our partner in the Middle East, like in the Indo-Pacific, not China. So if that is something you can support, we'll be grateful.
Absolutely. And I'll add that I'm trying to take a group of freshman legislators to India in the fall. And so that way we can get people to, and if you have any stops that we can make along the way for these new members of Congress, but I'd like for people to actually be on the ground and see what's happening, the opportunity as well, both in terms of economic opportunity, defense opportunities, and others. And so, that could be something that could come up during that trip as well.
I want to thank all of you for your passion and your activism and your support for this organization and this conversation. I know we have great panelists here talking about the Middle East and India and Europe, trade and security and global partnerships, and how important it is for there should be a free business relationships, exchange of goods, and growth of business relationships and businesses, all very, very critical. And United States is in its best interest to counter China, to be supportive of these measures, supportive of India. Having a strong U.S.-India relationship is extremely important to counteract the aggression of China. So I would certainly urge the U.S. government to continue to support India. But what I have in my mind, I have a long speech prepared, but I'm going to put that aside. What I have in my mind right now is the attack that happened. India took some decisive steps to counter the barbaric terroristic attacks in Belgaum, right? And this happened when the Vice President of the United States, J.D. Vance, was visiting India, and look at the audacity of these terrorists and this was not your ordinary terrorist. They didn't come and indiscriminately shot at people. What they did was they were looking for Hindus, specifically Hindu men. To the point that they asked these men to take their trousers down to find out if they are really Hindus or not. They asked them to quote scriptures. So this is how bad they were, and then these terrorists were so heartless, they were taking pictures with these dead bodies, dead Hindus. So this is really what is going on. We've seen so many attacks on Hindus. We've seen attacks on Hindu temples. We have seen atrocities on Hindus in Bangladesh. We've seen atrocities on Hindus in Pakistan. And now what appears to be a state-sponsored, Pakistan government-sponsored, Lashkar-Taiba-sponsored terrorism that we saw that killed 25 Hindu men. So I think I objected to the fact that, and I want to be candid here with friends, but I objected to the fact that J.D. Vance told India at this critical moment when Indian people, Indian citizens are being ruthlessly murdered, to cool it and have quite a response. And this is not a time to cool it. This is a time for, India has a right to protect itself, just like Israel has a right to protect itself, and we have stood strongly behind Israel, the only democracy in the Middle East, when Israel is fighting hard against the terrorism that it faced on October 7th. And I supported it, and I continue to support that. This situation is no different. What happened in Belgaum is no different, and I'm urging the United States Congress to don't have a different treatment to India than what it had to Israel. They need to support India in this with the same commitment against terrorism. Nobody told us when 9/11 happened in America to cool it, right? Nobody told us that, and we would not have listened to anybody else telling us that. So when India has been brutally attacked like that, America has no moral right to tell it to cool it. And I just saw President Trump's comment about this attack as being shameless, and it's not shameless. India has a right to protect itself. What appears from what I've seen so far is that these attacks were made with precision. They were very well calculated, and the terrorist infrastructure was attacked. So India took a lot of restraint. India could have gone wild and crazy about this, but India took a lot of restraint to do these attacks. 9 sites were chosen. So I think this is a time that India must support, United States must support India in its need of this hour of need. So that's my message to the State Department. I'm asking the State Department to provide us a special hearing on this, a confidential hearing on this. I want to know about what transpired. I want to know about what was the involvement of the terrorist groups. I want to know about what was the role of Pakistan in this terrorist attack. And not only U.S. must support India in this difficult times, but India must, U.S. must hold Pakistan accountable for their support of terrorism, these organizations. So that is really what my message is.
India, as you know, is vital, is absolutely vital in America's vision of how to counter aggression by the Chinese Communist Party, whether it's technological, economic, or military. Yes, you can clap. Thank you. India is the ultimate counterbalance in so many ways. Working with, whether it's in the Quad, with Australia, Japan, and India, or working bilaterally, it's important that we set the international rules of the road together. What does that mean? For instance, you settle issues peacefully with your neighbors. You make sure that you don't steal other people's intellectual property. You make sure that you don't practice economic aggression through dumping goods at prices beneath the cost of producing them to destroy other people's companies and other people's industries and other people's way of life. That is what is at issue in this competition. Which types of rules will govern this world with regard to economics, technology, and military, and security issues? Will it be the Chinese Communist parties, or will it be our way of thinking about the world? And I think that is so important, that's vitally important, not just for you and me, but for our children, for our grandchildren, for future generations. So working together, we can make sure that our legacy is one of ensuring human rights, ensuring democracy, ensuring free enterprise and capitalism flourishes, and that people are allowed to realize their God-given potential, however it's defined. So that is what I see as at stake. So I just want to say thank you for celebrating and expanding that relationship.
Last week, Pakistan-based terrorist organizations had made a deadly attack on Pahalgam. On that, India has timely, decisively, and very precisely attacked terrorist camps in Pakistan. This shows that the targets were chosen very precisely, avoided any civilian casualties, or it shows that India cares about the innocent people, and more importantly, India also avoided the military assets. It also shows that India does not want to escalate. At the same time, India shows that it has a resolve that anything that comes, India can take challenge. On this background, that US as well as international peace-loving countries and democracies should support India for its war against the terrorism.
Today we had an event on the Capitol Hill about supply chain security and maritime in Indo-Pacific area as well as AFPAC and Middle East. We had a great panel for Indo-Pacific. We had Nancy Jackson, we had Lisa Curtis, we had Cleo Pascal, we also had Michael Sobolik, and Vice Admiral Shekhar Sinha for Indo-Pacific region, and we had another panel for supply chain security in AFPAC and Middle East, which was Senghe Sering, Mr. Hashim Wadiatar, and also Ambassador Pradeep Kapoor. It was a great discussion and we had a lovely evening.
Today I attended the summit. I think organizing such summits are very, very important, particularly on the issue of South Asia, one of the very important issues to be discussed here in Washington, D.C., particularly the issue of India and Pakistan recently development that we see. I hope that there is a solution for this problem, but given this important issue of the tension between India and Pakistan and its implication on the greater region, it is very important to find a solution for that and also bring this issue to the international platform.